as a fan of comic books growing up, what has working at Marvel Comics meant to you? Like, what is that like from a kid growing up and like being a fan of like Marvel? I mean, that's how I got into Batman. I remember Marvel, like growing up and like learning to love those characters, and then ending up working for those companies. What has that meant to you, and what does that like? What have you gotten from that?
It's really terrifying in the sense of realizing, like, oh, I can change the status quo of characters I love. I didn't feel that way with the first Iceman run because there wasn't we there were so many different editor shakeups, and also there was so much else to worry about and be concerned about that Marvel was like, don't expand it outside of like Bobby Drake. Like, focus on Bobby. Like, these villains work. Like, don't make it too big. And now that it's coming back, and that like everything is like firmed up upstairs, they're kind of like, well, what would you do? And there's a character I'm gonna get to use in the second issue that I can't say anything about. But they were like, okay, what do you want to do with this person? And I was like, XYZ. And they're like, that's it? And I was like, I can do more. And they were like, yeah, we thought you were going to put this person in the whole arc. And I was like, I could? And they were like, yeah. And that stresses me out. And it's kind of why, like, I have never wanted to touch Batman. Because I'm just like, I have nothing to say. Like everyone says so many better things with Batman than me. I just want to be a fan.
Yeah.
And I've got to shake that because that'll be doing myself a disservice down the line if I like think I can't touch someone because they're precious to me.
Yep.
I always joke that like I won't write Wolverine in the book because I love Wolverine.
Yeah.
And if I do, then I'm proving like some fucking hater somewhere, that I am like indulging myself with this book. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to tell a story. And if Wolverine shows up, that means I'm just literally like,
You feel like a hack that way.
masturbating. Like masturbatory. It feels masturbatory, or like it feels like I'm just like being like my inner fanboy rather than like I'm trying to be a good ass storyteller. So it's weird. It's daunting more than anything. I don't like. It's weird to be making stories up that little future me is gonna read.
Yep.
It's weird. It's cool too, but it's weird.
That's
That's why I liked Iceman. Or I still like Iceman. I
yeah.
love Iceman, but that's why I like working on Iceman. Is that he's I like the character a lot, but he wasn't one I gravitated towards when I was younger.
Yeah.
So there's not this scary feeling
Pressure.
of like, yeah, that pressure. So it's cool though, yeah, and they're really cool, and but they're also a company. Like that's what's really fascinating about this industry, is that we are doing this really pure, beautiful, weird thing that not everyone gets, and not everyone even understands how to do it. Um, but then it's also a business,
Yep.
and it's interesting to always balance that. Like, we've got to make these comic books be comic books, and
Yep.
they've got to evoke the feeling of like reading a comic book and loving it. But then we've also got to think about like numbers, money,
Yeah.
like
You have to do
these
both.
decisions, marketing.
You have to do both. I mean, it's not just one or the other. It's like you have to think about how is this going to play, who's going to read this, what are they expecting,
Word.
what do they want to get, and why are they going to keep coming back? It's about
Yeah. And I think the key is kind of like you start. I think it's not good to do both. I think it's like eating solids and drinking liquids. Like, you shouldn't do both at the same time. So it's like you make the thing from your pure place. Like, that's the first draft.
Yep.
And then second draft is like when you start considering all the like grown up notions.
yep, got to be a grown up.